Hey everybody, Kevin here from Invisible Insights, your high performance coach. And here is something today for your invisible edge. Now, today I want to take a minute and I want to read from my journal. And I'm a journaler. I love ideas and putting thoughts in there. And I came across one the other day as I've been writing this book that I've been writing called Pivot Ready. And I really started asking myself some serious questions. And it just kind of prompted a really interesting, at least from my end, an interesting take. And I want to share it with you. And so I'm going to read this and then I'll probably comment after. But the question is how to take yourself seriously without taking yourself so seriously. A paradox of priority. That's what I titled it. So then as I was thinking about this, I'm going, so how do you do that? How do you take yourself seriously without taking yourself so seriously? It really comes down to two things: your sensitivities and your priorities. Here's the deal. If I had to retitle this, I would call it How to Make a Snowflake. And what I mean by that is a snowflake mindset is created and validated when we make our sensitivity a priority. Ultimately, when we do that, it dissolves us living our lives around the opinions of others, expressing our opinions upon others. We have somehow in our minds positioned this sensitivity priority as a purpose in our lives. And in reality, it does everything to attack and reduce and shrink that true purpose. Listen, the juxtaposition of that, whenever we set ourselves around being serious about ourselves, when we look at ourselves seriously in terms of what's unique about us, what's special, and how we stand out and make a difference, how we serve well, and really ultimately the stewardship of our gifts, it is in the essence of taking ourselves seriously and at the same time not taking ourselves so seriously that we begin to develop an inner resilience around our bigger purpose. It isn't really about what we're doing. It's truly about who we're becoming. And I want to live in that truth because something special there that if you just spend the time and dig into it, you find that taking yourself seriously is the first major step to taking yourself to a level that makes a huge difference in the world and the lives of the people you know, work, and love. And so the thing I was processing with this is it's so easy for me not to take myself seriously. And yet it's important that I do. There are things about myself that I need to take seriously that really will enhance my purpose and the difference I want to make in the world. And for some reason, it just got twisted. I just think we're taking ourselves so seriously that all of a sudden now we're offended by everything that doesn't align with what we think how things ought to go or how things ought to be. When the reality is we have to understand that things we can't control shape us and help us develop that level of resilience that we continue to push through and find that higher level of ourselves in the expression of that purpose, that difference we want to make, that thing that God put in us that if we don't do it, won't get done. That whole thing is really the journey we're on. And as you scroll through social media and as you scroll through LinkedIn and Facebook and all that kind of thing, you see the where all the sideways energy is. You just do. And it convicted me because I don't want to be that guy. And so I'm trying to really factor this in, and I want to take myself seriously, but I don't want it to flip. I don't want to take myself so seriously that I lose perspective, that I lose input, that I don't gather feedback or want to hear things that might challenge some assumptions I've made in my life or some things that now that I've grown and have more perspective in that probably should be changing in my life. We are all growing and developing and seeing things in ways we've never seen. And if you're a whippersnapper out there, it's easy. I remember the whippersnapper days. I was locked in, like this is the world and this is how it is. And I started realizing that things are way more complex and way more out there than I can even wrap my brain around. So I then had to understand that there needed to be some level of what I would say active grace in my life to seek to understand before being understood, to quote the great Mr. Stephen R. Covey. So with that said, I just want to encourage you today to really think through that. You know what? Don't get this messed up, but I want you to take yourself seriously. I really do. I want you to be serious about the difference you want to make, the person you want to become, the influence that you want to have. But I don't want you to be so serious that there's no room for a competing idea or thought or process or system, that you're open, but you're also dialed in terms of, hey, this is the framework in which I operate. I'm really curious what your thoughts are on this. Shoot me some thoughts, DM me, and hit me up and let me know what you're thinking, because that's what I'm thinking. Take care, everybody. Always remember this. When you see the invisible, you become unstoppable. Man, do some damage out there. Talk to you later.